So if you're looking to get more brand sponsorships, you're probably asking yourself, what type of content can I get sponsored? And I think oftentimes people always lean into photo, video, or social media posts, right? It's like you can sponsor a reel or a TikTok or a video or a photo. But I think there are other things that you guys can go after when it comes to sponsorships to your brand partners as a way of integrating them into your content. So today I'm going to be sharing with you different types of content that you can get sponsored to offer those brands like a different taste of something outside of traditional photos and videos. Now, if you're interested in working with brands and that is something that is important to you, sponsorships, brand sponsorships, all that good stuff, make sure you join me for my next live free training. I host them monthly on how to work with brands and how to get paid brand deals. So I'll leave a link below to that, and subscribe to our channel so that you can be kept up to date on all things influencer, creator, and social media. So let's go ahead and jump in. The first thing we talked about, obviously, when it comes to sponsored content, we are going to start with what you already know, which is the video and photo content. And this is when we're talking about very traditional types of sponsored posts that you see on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, or even Twitter. This is when you're seeing brands sponsor a piece of content and it's being posted on your social media platforms because you have followers or you have an audience that comes to you for certain types of information. So I think this obviously goes without saying. This is the most common type of advertisement or sponsored post that you're going to see. And it's because brands want to integrate themselves into your content. Think about it. Brands are like seeing a total flop in ads. When it comes to ads, we're seeing a lot of ad fatigue. People are clicking skip ad. People don't want to hear ads anymore. They want to listen and follow the influencers or the people on social that they like. So having a brand, basically use you as a mouthpiece to talk about their products or their services to your trusted audience on social is, obviously the number one top way to get sponsored content. But we're also seeing lots of other different opportunities, and that's what I want to share with you today. So first of all, if you have a podcast, if you are a creator that also has a podcast, don't sleep on podcast sponsorships. We have a podcast here at Sidewalker Daily, Influencer Confidential. You can listen to it on all places that you can listen to podcasts. But what's interesting is now more and more as we talk to our brand partners and we see maybe they don't want to work with us on YouTube or they don't want to work on social, but then I'll tell them about the podcast and they're like, oh, what are your monthly listeners? Where do they come from? And they're interested in that. So sometimes like a brand, may not want to work with you in a certain place, but not even know that your podcast exists. And I think, at least for me, when I think of a podcast, it's a very dedicated listener. It's someone who's listening to you speak on a subject, and it tends to have like a high, finish rate. People that listen to podcasts are quite dedicated followers and loyal fans. So definitely consider your podcast as an opportunity to get that sponsored. Now, for my bloggers out there, we can get sponsored articles, right? Maybe it's introducing the brand naturally into a roundup post that you're doing, or maybe you're doing some sort of list post and they are spot number one. Obviously, all these sponsorships need to be disclosed, but if you are a blogger, instead of posting or asking for social media style sponsorships, you can see if brands want to be integrated into your articles. Now, why is this beneficial? Similar to YouTube, there's a lot of search around these articles, a lot of SEO efforts. So if your blog is ranking on Google for certain keywords, this is a great angle when you're going to your brand partners, because you're like, look, I rank for this keyword. I have traffic that, people on search that are coming to me for this topic. And it's a really nice way to get brands excited about sponsoring your article. And I think that's similar to YouTube, right? Like there's certain keywords here at Sidewalker that we rank for. So if a brand wanted to come to us and work with us on a sponsored video, similarly to an article, I think there's a lot of that search-based proof, keyword proof that makes it really enticing for a brand to want to sponsor it. Now, interestingly enough, if you're a course creator, maybe consider having a section within your course brought to you by a certain brand sponsor. So like, let's just say your course is, a photo editing course, and you wanted to include a list of apps to edit on the fly. And you wanted to reach out to the app that you always use and see if they wanted to sponsor a module. Again, those are things I don't think people think of, but you can bring your brand partners outside of social into different areas. Similarly, ebooks. If you have an ebook, maybe there's a chapter that's sponsored, or a section that you have, your favorite resources, and you have maybe brands integrated into that. Now, of course, this is a little bit different, but it does get you thinking about, wait, I can maybe get brands to sponsor me outside of my social posts, but have them sponsor me within the content that I'm producing. Now, I think there are really cool creative angles too. Like if you are going to create a filter, maybe an AR filter for Instagram, or you're going to a brand and you're saying, let's work together on something like a filter as a co-branded opportunity. This is something that they may have never have thought of, but not, but interested. So if you were to go to a brand and say, hey, I'm going to create a filter for you as a way to work together, and I'm going to use it on my account, and this is like something that I want to, here's a fee in order for me to do that. I think it's an interesting angle. It's very different, right? To offer that as a sponsored content piece, like having a filter. Similarly, if you were going to do a line of merchandise, maybe you wanted to do something with a brand. So that's part of your pitch. You're going to a brand and you're saying, let's work on this candle line together. Let's work on some merch together, or something that they would be interested in. It's giving them an opportunity to sponsor you outside of traditional social media sponsorships. Events. We absolutely can't do this video without talking about events. We'll be hosting live events hopefully in the following year, and are going to be looking for sponsors to help us, in these live events. So if you are a creator that also wants to do group trips or anything live, or any sort of events or brunches or whatever, meet and greets, these are great ways to reach out to brands and sponsors and get them to come in and be a part of that story and reach their target audience. Anyways, guys, I hope this gave you a bunch of good ideas to get started. If you need help pitching these ideas, now you have them, and you need help pitching to brands, getting their contacts, putting a deck together, all that stuff, definitely check out our Pitching to Brands Master Course. It will be everything you need and more to help you land those paid brand deals, and that is a promise. Anyways, guys, make sure you like this video, fuel our fire, let us know if you want us to keep creating videos like this, and I will see you in the next video.